Welcome back to the Pistons Jack YouTube channel. On today's episode, we'll be reacting to the latest news surrounding Jaden Ivey and Jalen Duren's rookie contract extensions with the Pistons. We'll get to that in just a moment. A couple of days ago, NBA insider Mark Stein, who runs and owns the Stein Line Substack, released an article that had a sourced piece of knowledge on the Jaden Ivey and Jalen Duren contract extensions. Stein wrote, "Sources say neither first-round pick for the Pistons has generated much momentum on a new deal with Detroit to this point in the process. The sudden announcement this week that Ivey needed a surgical procedure to alleviate discomfort in his right knee isn't expected to require a significant recovery period, but it certainly doesn't make negotiations any easier for the Pistons, who might understandably elect to be cautious. Ivey's camp nonetheless anticipates a promising market next summer, even in the wake of last season's left tibia fraction." So, interesting, very interesting. I will say, first of all, for Pistons fans maybe freaking out, I've seen some aggregation of this post that could lead Pistons fans to believe the team's out on both of them and the Pistons are going to lose them. I understand most people watching this are quite diehard fans and understand why extensions might not have been agreed upon, and we're going to explain that, but I just want fans to know who aren't in the weeds with this stuff that this doesn't mean the Pistons won't re-sign either Jaden Ivey and Jalen Duren. I just want to put those at ease who might be stressing out at this news that the Pistons are just going to lose both of these key players for nothing, or they're out on them. Put them at ease that that is not the case. But I think what the interesting part here is, and it's the Jalen Duren element. I have honestly not expected Ivey to sign an extension for pretty much all of this offseason. A lot of it we've discussed a fair bit over here on the channel, but because he missed such a crucial part of the season last year, wasn't able to be in the playoffs due to that broken leg, I think Ivey's value and what him and his camp see his value being compared to what the Pistons would be willing to offer, I don't think they were ever going to get close enough to reach a deal. And that's nothing against either party. On one hand, I don't think the Pistons are lowballing. On the other hand, I can see why Jaden Ivey's camp wants a certain amount. I would say Jaden Ivey's camp is looking between 25 to 30 million annually, and I would say the Pistons are probably not in that ballpark or near it right now, and that's why the two camps haven't come to an agreement. And obviously this secondary injury that Ivey has sustained, which isn't major but does mean he's going to miss the first month or two of the season, kind of just puts a full stop on the extension talks for him signing before October 21st. So not really surprised with the Ivey thing. I don't think this means he still won't sign with the team long term. Obviously, as Mark Stein said, they are still anticipating a promising market next summer when Ivey will be a restricted free agent. Now, Ivey is still going to have plenty of time to prove, I would like to think, at least a couple of months, that he can work alongside Cunningham, that those two can win games together and be a successful backcourt on both ends. Unfortunately, they've only played 95 of over 250 games together due to injuries on both parts, both Cade missing a lot of his second year and Ivey more recently. But we just haven't been able to see them play together for a long period of time. So Ivey still will have a shot to do that, and I think that will, how those 2 months go will determine whether or not the value of extension he gets, and potentially, honestly, if we're just being honest, if it doesn't look great, maybe Ivey is potentially packaged in a deal at the trade deadline. I still don't think that's going to happen, but I just wanted to mention it because I don't want to act like I'm naive to the chance of him being traded at the deadline before All-Star break. So Jalen Duren's the one I'm a little bit surprised about. I was beginning to think he might be the one that does sign an extension, but we are now on Monday, October 20th. I believe tomorrow is the final day to sign the extension, and based off this, it's not happening. I thought they might be able to come to terms on a deal. I think Duren has looked awesome in preseason. I think he was awesome for the last 45 games of the season and showed real growth in the playoffs against a tough matchup in Cat. And I thought maybe they could get a deal done, something like 4 years, 100 million. We've seen Shaedon Sharpe today sign for, I think, 4 years, 90 million. Kamara signed for 4 years, 80 million, 84 million. And I think Duren has shown he's shown more to the date than those two. I think Kamara is a really talented player, and I think he was second team all defense last year. But I think Duren's been on a winning team. Even if you want to say they're at the same level, I think Duren's production has probably been a little bit better. And I think the Pistons would want to sign JD. He has a great relationship with the Pistons franchise player in Cade. I just thought they might be keen to get a deal done. But potentially, the reason I can think maybe this deal didn't get done is the Pistons want to see JD show he can do what he did last year for a whole year. And the motor won't wane. He's 100% this new type of player. And he's going to continue to not only bring that effort and motor each and every game for all 82 and the playoffs, but he's going to continue to improve, take his game to another level. Because we've seen him practicing the jumper, we've seen it a tiny bit in preseason, his touch and feel looks better around the basket, but he needs to continue adding. And I think maybe they've just gone, look, JD's probably also trying to get close to that 30 million per year annually, and the team's probably not there. And I think the team's probably not there because they haven't seen him consistently do what he did for the second half of last year and into the playoffs. That would be my guess. But I do think, like, I'm not a betting man at all. I don't bet. I don't gamble. But if I had to put money on it, Jalen Duren's going to be here long term for at least the duration of, like, he's signing a rookie extension here is what I'll say. I just cannot see Jalen Duren on another team for everything I mentioned. The positional value he has on this team, he's fit with Cade offensively, his relationship off court with Cade offensively. And something I want to highlight is when you go and watch some of these awesome Pistons documentaries, he's a real leader in the locker room. He might only be 21, but he's not only a leader, he's a real culture guy. He seems to be friends with pretty much everyone on the team and kind of a real sticking point for the team and bringing everyone together. And that stuff holds a lot of value. And like I said, he's only 21. Like, yes, he is far from a perfect player, particularly on defense. I think he's shown strides, but I think he's here long term. Ivey, I truly think Jaden's just going to have to prove it. And it'll be on the coaching staff to make Cade and Ivey function and do their best. But I think, unfortunately, due to Jaden's these injuries, the raw numbers and results of him being on the team aren't favourable. I still think, me personally, this is just an opinion, and none of this holds up in contract talks, obviously, even if Ivey's manager might be saying this, but I think the season still would go on the exact same way, maybe even marginally better if he's healthy. I know a lot of people don't agree with me. There's probably a decent size of the fan base that believes, and I'm not going to ever challenge anyone's opinion if they're respectful about it, even if I disagree, but I think there's a fair portion of the fan base that believes Ivey going out and being able to put in a pure floor spacing catch and shoot guy and Tim Hardaway Jr. To allow Asar and Duren to function with more space. I think people believe that that's the blueprint the Pistons need to follow and put alongside Cade. Obviously, you would like that THJ to be more of a two-way player, but I think that pure floor spacer at the two that can defend, I think, and doesn't need the ball as much, is more long-term what fans want to see next to Cade, a fair portion. But either way, I believe that this is a backcourt that can work. We just need to see it. And that's why I'm so kind of shattered for Jaden that he's going to miss the first 4, 6, maybe 8 weeks of the season, because these are just crucial. Every game counts right now. And I have no doubt that even if Jaden goes to another team, he is a fringe all-star type talent in this league, and maybe more. Maybe I'm underestimating him, but as it pertains to the Pistons, we just need to see him on the court, and that's why we hope he'll be back ASAP. But we will see what happens. Pistons basketball is back in this week. How insane. And we're going to have you covered with everything across all channels. But thank you so much for watching, and as always, go Pistons.